Hey loves, so today is day 8 of our 14 days of love where you are going to manifest your specific person. And today is all about assuming the state of the wish fulfilled. And this is going to be really easily done by just asking yourself in your end state what this perfect version of you would think, would do, and how they would act. Really, it is as easy as that. Before we kind of get started in that, what I want to always set off every single video is the proper intention. So what I want you to comment down below is love finds me easily and effortlessly. Okay? Comment that down below. Again, love finds me easily and effortlessly. And we're going to be getting into this intention and knowing that, again, just by assuming the state of the wish fulfilled, just by literally feeling as if you and your specific person are already together, you're going to see your reality begin to entirely change and become exactly what it is that you like. But how is everyone doing? We have went over our halfway point. Again, it's day 8 going to Valentine's Day, February 14th. That is so fun. It's so cool. Hopefully you guys are having a blast. Comment down all of your awesome successes after your cool comments or all your worries and comments as well. But so now let's get into the state. So as I mentioned, the easiest way to get into the state is literally think of that version of you that's in the end. So that version of you that's married or in the relationship. What does that person think? What does that person believe? What does that person feel? I had to look over my notes because I'm like, what's the third? Think, believe, and feel. What do they think? What do they believe? And what do they feel? And if you ask yourself this, everything is going to align perfectly and create the outcome that you want because it's an aspect called mirroring. Or literally, you could just call it assuming the state. But if you do everything your future self is doing right here and right now, you're going to get everything your future self has. And so this includes your specific person and anything else you could ever imagine. But so ask yourself right now, being or thinking upon that future version of yourself, ask yourself, what would you do if this were true right now? What would you do? Again, what would you think? What would you believe? What would you feel? What would you act like if this were true? Take whatever assumption, whatever imaginative act was in the end. What if that were true right here and right now? What would you do? And the more you actually align, so it's kind of like a gap thinking. So if whoever you feel you are right now, who you feel you would be in your end state, to bridge that gap, the closer these two are together, the more abundant, the more aligned, and the more in the wish fulfilled you're going to feel. Now, truly, there is no separation. There is no you here and you there. It's all you within you right now. You have the ability to literally create, change, and become this individual right now. And so that's going to be our goal. And if you have been a member in these 14 days of love, my YouTube members, you guys have been doing this the whole time through the meditations that have been given out each and every single day. So use visualizations, affirmations, journaling prompts, and I'll get into what it really means to be in the state of the wish fulfilled. I think that's like one of the most important factors because a lot of us think that it's something very difficult. Like, right? Are you thinking that manifestation or the wish fulfilled is some really crazy, fantastic, awesome, thrilling, ecstatic feeling? And you might be like, yeah, I was thinking that, Kyle. But truly, the wish fulfilled is a knowing, a contentment, an understanding, an assumption more than anything else. So don't overthink this state. Don't be thinking that it has to be difficult, that it has to be hard, because it really doesn't. It's all this contentment and knowing. And so I think it's actually the way that we view the wish fulfilled of it being so difficult, so hard, or so challenging that actually causes it to be that way because it's much more relaxed, much more easy, and much more effortless. And I get people in coaching sessions say that all the time where they they feel really good and they're feeling awesome after we kind of work it together. And they're like, oh my gosh, is this what the wish fulfilled is supposed to be like? And it's like, yeah, it's supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be effortless. It's supposed to be natural, relaxed, right? It's all of those things. Now, if we're not feeling that way right now, That's okay. You don't have to always instantly automatically jump into that. Sometimes it might feel different from the state that we're in. But remember, it isn't something that is really, really difficult to do. Okay? It's not, you don't have to be feeling ecstatic, thrilled, this over the top, crazy, abundant emotion. It's going to kind of feel that way, but not in the way of like overwhelming happiness. You'll get more of like this understanding or knowing, if that makes sense. And everybody who knows it, if you think I don't have to do anything, it's already done, that's the feeling of the wish fulfilled. So what would it feel right now if you knew you didn't have to do anything else to manifest your specific person, that they're already on their way? They're literally begging to be with you, really desiring you, wanting to pursue you. How would you feel in that way? And that's going to be the wish fulfilled state. And another kind of representation of what this is, remember that we cannot desire what we feel we already have. Okay? And so the desire for your manifestation, for one, is very, very good at the beginning, right? It means that we have something that we are destined for, okay? But then we want to move that feeling of desire into a feeling as if you already have it. And do you desire your name? Do you desire your address? Do you desire your shirt? Do you desire your glasses if you have them on, right? Do you desire those things? And you can say, well, no. And if you thought about it, you could get into a state of gratitude and be like, oh my gosh, I'm so thankful. I love this shirt or I love these glasses, right? You could get into a state of gratitude. And how would that feel? Okay. Does that feel really good? Does it feel abundant? Does it feel happy? Does it feel easy? Does it feel effortless, right? All of those things, that's the wish fulfilled state. Okay, that's more in alignment with the outcome we want than anything else. And so we can't desire what we feel we already have. Okay, and this may seem very odd or weird, like a weird idea. You're like, okay, so I don't have to, anytime I desire something, it's bad. That's the beginning state. And Neville Goddard talks about it in the way that your desires are automatically given to you, right? If you are hungry, you desire food. If you're imprisoned, you instantly desire freedom. Like within themselves is the means to the end. Okay, so you being in a state of something is creating this feeling or this desire to maybe be someplace else. Okay, and so that's something that is really, really powerful. And so remember, just by having the desire, you've already created the means of fulfilling it just by having the desire. But then, so we want to take that feeling of desire, place it into a state of knowing instead. Because when you're with your specific person and you're married, are you going to desire to get married? What does it feel to desire to get married or desire to get into a relationship? And we're going to say it kind of feels a little bit stressful, a little worrisome, right? We feel like there's this urgency or this lack of abundance, that we don't have something and we need to get it. But that just causes anxiety and worry and fears. And ask yourself, do you feel like you've been in that state recently? That's okay, right? We all get in that state. But does it feel like we're trying to achieve something that is not normal to us? That might be a really, really good question as well. Because as we begin to try or attempt to achieve something that we don't feel is normal, then it's like we're coming from a state of desire, and then we have thought of the end rather than thinking from the end, okay? And really quickly, I know you already know this, but I just wanted to recap. Thinking of the end is just thinking about something. Thinking from the end is acting as if you already have it. So if you feel you're in a state that you are not loved and you're thinking, I would really like to get my specific person, we're thinking of the end. And then so we're still in this desired state, but we want to move that feeling of the wish fulfilled, right? How does it feel to have already received what you want? Doesn't it feel great, fantastic? The feeling that you don't have to do anything extra to manifest your specific person. They already love you. They're already desiring you, right? And so we need to basically get used to that feeling in a naturalness, because when you're with your specific person, that's how you're going to feel. You're not going to change once you get your specific person. That's not how it works, right? You're not going to get the CEO role job of a company and then get the experience, right? You didn't get the job that you want. Well, I mean, depending on what our assumption is, right? It feels like we always were ready and available and equipped for whatever comes in our reality, as it does, right? And sometimes it does feel surprising or kind of like it's lucky. But in this case, you were always set and prepared for that. So it's something to always keep in mind. And so next, what I also wanted to dive into is something that actually keeps us from fully living in the wish fulfilled. Because if I were to ask you, what stops you from doing that? And you might be saying, well, my SP doesn't text me enough. My SP doesn't call me enough. My SP doesn't hang out with me enough. But I want to say, are those things your wish fulfilled? Is them texting you? Is them calling you? Is them hanging out with you? Does that, if you were to achieve those things, is that your wish fulfilled? Or is your wish fulfilled a relationship or marriage? And so what we're talking about, because I know you might be thinking too, Kyle, aren't those the same thing? But really, those are what Neville Goddard calls a primary and a secondary desire, okay? A primary desire is what you want. So a relationship, a marriage, okay? A secondary desire is what we feel would get us to that point, okay? Which is texting, calling, hanging out. So we really, not that we don't care about it, because we obviously want them to text, call, and hang out with us, and we will achieve that. But the more we actually focus on those things, the less we actually feel in our end, and the less aligned with it we will be, the more anxiety, the more worry, and the more fear we'll have. Because we never have to worry about how or when. And anytime we worry about how or when our manifestation is going to show up, that's when anxiety comes in. And then there's literally no time, no place that we should ever actually worry about the middle. And again, if you've read Neville Goddard, Joseph Murphy, you know this already, right? We know it. Now, implementing it is one thing. That's kind of, it feels different, but we know we never have to worry about how or when. And I've literally, as I've said, I found 100% of every single worry, anxiety, and fear ever with manifesting a specific person is always consisted or found in the how or when. And so that's where we want to get our primary and secondary desires kind of straightened out, because we need to know what we want. And in the way of, we need to focus on that, right? Don't focus on what you don't want. If they're not texting you enough, that's okay. Focusing on your end actually brings that to you. And so that's why day 8 is all about assuming the state of the wish fulfilled, because we only want to focus on what we want. Everything comes as a byproduct, okay? If in your end state, you're texting, calling, and hanging out all the time, then all you have to do is actually focus on that end state in order to create that to happen. And the example I use, I might have recently used this as well, but if you're driving someplace, right, you pass other places, other destinations, right? So you will be passing the pharmacy, the supermarket, the gym. You pass all of those on the way to your manifestation or to your destination. So you don't have to try to pass the pharmacy, the supermarket, and the gym. Just by having the goal of the destination, you are automatically going to pass through those points. So to attempt to kind of control that middle just causes more anxiety that's totally unnecessary. Now, this idea, remember too, it comes with this balance, because this also, I've talked about something called the intervals of success, where each week you create a mini manifestation. That's where we're going to have this balance, because the mini manifestation is kind of like a goal of where we want our state to be, but we never let go of our end state. So if you want to manifest in steps, do you, okay? You do what's best for you, and I'm going to support it every single step of the way. But if we are focusing on manifesting in steps, sometimes we can lose sight of our end. And that's, again, what I talked about in the intervals of success. So each week with my members, we kind of talk about this, but it's each week you're setting this goal to create an outcome you want, but never get lost in it. Never get lost in these middles. You can use these markers, so like passing the pharmacy, as proof this is going awesome. Okay. And it really does help with motivating and supporting you. But never forget our destination. You don't get to the pharmacy and stop. You don't get to the supermarket and stop. You don't get to the gym and stop, right? Those are just the markers, and you never have to focus on them then, because they technically don't mean you're at the end state. They're just support to keep us in the state or the belief, okay? And so use those, and again, the more you do it, the easier it'll become, the less you'll actually focus on these like mini manifestations, and the more you'll focus on your end state. But so make some mini manifestations right now. But again, don't focus exclusively on those. That puts us into a secondary desire, something we don't want. We always focus on the primary. And hopefully this is making sense. Hopefully it's not like confusing, because this idea, when balanced correctly, can create massive, massive change, as it has for other people and my members and my coaching that have used this. Because it doesn't mean you have to wait then. Because I had individuals who started this intervals of success. So I had like a 4-week interval to be with their specific person. And literally the next day got them all. Because there's this weird paradox in manifestation that when you actually become patient, or in this assumption that you already have what you want, things begin created really, really fast. Like, so basically when you have patience, I'm like, oh, I'm actually perfectly fine. Like seeing my future self in a month with my specific person, boom, it happens tomorrow, because you have thus put yourself massively into that state, if that makes sense. And so I want to give everyone kind of a Neville Goddard quote that goes along with this that I think is going to help a lot. So it's kind of long, so strap in. So it says, if you are dissatisfied with your present expression in life, the only way to change it is to take your attention away from that which seems so real to you and rise in consciousness to that which you desire to be. You cannot serve two masters. Therefore, to take your attention from one state of consciousness and place it upon another is to die to one and live to the other. That's what living in the wish-fulfilled state is. That is what it is. And we cannot serve two masters. We're either in the wish-fulfilled state of being with our specific person, or being in the wish-fulfilled state of being single, right? We're always conscious of bringing about that which we are aware of and putting our attention on. So draw the attention. It doesn't matter what's happening in your reality. It doesn't matter about circumstances. I already made a whole video on circumstances with this 14 Days of Love. So definitely check it out. Again, maybe rewatch it if you want to. But circumstances literally do not matter. And so like always, I'm going to give a quick little success story that kind of gives a little essence to this. So for this one, it's from an email coaching. I know a lot of my success stories recently have been from my email coaching. But they said, I just wanted to say thank you for help with getting my ex back. He messaged me last night saying that he was getting attached again. And when we hung out, he said it just felt right. So we were going to give us another go. The funny thing was I had a feeling we were going to become something again from this, because the chemistry was still there. And something was telling me he was not over me and he needed time to figure his life out before we could be something again. So I just wanted to thank you for helping me get him back. So look at those little awesome indicators that the wish fulfilled is there. So this feeling, and there was something telling me he was not over me. So that feeling, also that he needed time. So basically laying out this bridge of events, which is okay, right? All bridge of events are going to happen. So it's what we call conditions that we're setting on our desire. And there doesn't have to be any, but it's just really cool. So this one, again, I want to tell you some circumstances or limiting beliefs that began in this, but just by switching the state, and I'll tell you a time frame, and it's really, really cool. So this was an ex, obviously. This person, so that ex had told them that they just should be friends. They said they did not want to see them anymore. At the point we started talking, they were getting less and less communication, and they were meeting up with a third party. Okay. So imagine all of that being put on you. Okay. I know sometimes it feels hard to get into the wish fulfilled, but you can absolutely do it. You can get into that feeling. You can act it out. Ask yourself again, who do you think of that version of you? That's like the easiest way to do it. What do they think? What do they do? What do they believe? How do they act? Implement that right here and right now. But so think of those circumstances. I like playing this game. How long do you think that should have taken? Again, X said they should only be friends, said they don't want to see them anymore. There was less and less communication. They were meeting up with a third party. How long do you think that should take to manifest? And really, the answer should be instantly, right? You always have this power within you, but sometimes it doesn't feel that way with our beliefs. But this was all in less than a month. So the moment we started talking, that they told me all these circumstances were happening. Less than a month, now they switch to this reality. And that's just the power of the wish fulfilled. And so again, remember, it's totally up to us. It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be difficult. The wish fulfilled, you could just feel it right here and right now, and have it be easy, automatic, effortless. It doesn't have to be challenging. It doesn't have to be difficult. It is always within our grasp every single step of the way. And I want you to remember that. Always, 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 because this is your reality and you can create whatever you want. Again, so I know we're getting past our halfway point. I made a message for my members to remember, if you're not fully manifesting or creating the life that you want, that's okay, right? I wouldn't worry if it's okay that if we don't feel super confident or if it feels hard to manifest for Valentine's Day. That's okay. Accept those feelings and relax, because I know you can, but it's okay if you feel like you can't, okay? Don't worry about time. Don't worry about feeling. Everything is going to happen perfectly. Even though we do have control and are the creator of time, that's okay. So there's only two options that you can have. So either you're happily with your specific person this Valentine's Day, or you have to realize this is the last Valentine's Day you're ever going to be single, and you better enjoy it before your specific person is literally so obsessed with you they never leave you alone. So you better enjoy this feeling of being single, or as it is, you better enjoy it because it's not lasting very, very long. And always keep that in mind. But again, any questions, any worries, it's okay to feel worried. It's okay to feel stressed. It's okay to feel anxious, right? All of this does not take away your power. I know, literally, underneath all that, you are just as powerful. You can convince yourself of anything you want. You can convince yourself you can't do it, but I know you can do it. So it's not changing who you are. It's just changing our state and what we're feeling. So always keep that in mind. Again, remember, if you did want to hop into, so this Sunday, so it's Sunday now, 1 p.m. Eastern time, I'll be meeting up with all of my members talking about Valentine's Day. I think I'm going to do a little Valentine's Day live special too, so keep an eye out for that. So 1 p.m. Eastern time, Sunday, all my members are all meeting up to talk even further in depth about the manifestation, getting you guys to your specific person for Valentine's Day. Is going to be so much. It's fun every single time. If you guys do want to check that out, and we already did a bunch of lives actually towards that. And each day I'm putting out a meditation. If you did want to join in that, you can click to become a member below. I'll always be putting out these videos though, so don't feel like you have to, but it is a lot of fun. I give make sure if you are a member, checking out the daily affirmation, journaling prompt, and visualization, as well as the meditation, the guided meditation I give out every day. Make sure you are checking those out and go back to, if there's one you really, really like, just go back to it, right? Keep using it, keep getting into the state, because the wish fulfilled is the most important factor. So thanks again so much for stopping by. If you do have any questions or comments, leave it down below. If you do want to send me a personal message, head over to kyleaugustcoaching.com. It's where you can reach me personally. Again, thank you so much. I'm so glad that we are on this 14 days of love, leading you to your specific person, and I can't wait to see you in the next video tomorrow.